Hello everyone, back again with movie and tune recap. Today, I'm going to explain an American horror film from 2017, titled The Monster Project. Spoilers ahead, so watch out and take care. The movie opens with a man who is startled by a loud crash and roar coming from the roof of his house. He goes outside, climbs a ladder to check the roof and sees a terrifying monster, and frightened, he falls off the ladder. However, it turns out to be a fake video made by two YouTubers, Devin Adams and his friend Jamal. They stage fake monster sightings, recording and post them online as real. After gaining more views and some success with their YouTube channel, Devin suggests they take things further by turning their staged videos into a show where they search for real monsters. Jamal names the show The Monster Project. Devin posts an ad on Craigslist, inviting people in Los Angeles who believe they are real monsters to contact him. Meanwhile, Jamal's roommate, Brian J., who is recovering from drug addiction, films a video message for his parents about his sobriety, and his friend Muriel, whom he has feelings for, briefly interrupts him. Devin and Jamal later travel to a Navajo reservation to meet a man who claims to be a Native American skinwalker. As they get out of their car, Jamal notices a no trespassing sign and feels uneasy, and it's clear that someone is watching them. Suddenly, they hear a loud noise from the mountain and are startled by someone who approached them from behind. However, it turns out to be Steven, a reservation police officer who claims to be a skinwalker. Jamal fails to record their meeting due to a low camera battery, but Steven agrees to participate in Devin's monster interview project. That night, Devin returns to Jamal's apartment, where he notices a cross on the wall that makes him feel uneasy. There, he also meets Brian, and also has an awkward encounter with Muriel, his ex-girlfriend, with whom he had a bad breakup. A tattoo artist named Shayla contacts Devin and Jamal, claiming she is a vampire, and she offers to be interviewed in exchange for a vial of blood. Devin tries to convince Jamal to give his blood, but Jamal refuses. Instead, Devin persuades Brian to donate his blood in exchange for money. The three men take the vial of blood to a park for a dead drop, and suddenly, the vial mysteriously disappears.
Blood vial's gone.
On their way back home, Brian, who is deeply religious, warns Devin to be cautious, explaining that demons often target vulnerable people. He advised Devin to be careful about what he's getting involved in. That night, Jamal and his friends are awakened by loud banging on the door. When Jamal opens it, no one is there, but he finds a DVD left on the doorstep by an Asian woman named Shirori. The friends watch the DVD, where Shirori claims she is possessed by a demon and asks for their help, and suddenly, the cross on the wall falls. Frightening, Jamal tries to convince Devin that they should stop the project, reminding him of what Brian said about demons. However, the stubborn Devin dismisses Jamal's concerns and insists that there's a logical explanation, even calling Brian a junkie. The friends throw a birthday party for Brian, inviting Muriel and others. During the celebration, Jamal pulls Brian aside to talk, but Brian accuses him of not defending him when Devin called him a junkie. He also warns Jamal that Devin is just using him, and their conversation is interrupted when Devin arrives at the party and apologizes to Brian for the junkie comment. Devin offers Brian some cash and a job as a production assistant on the Monster Project. Muriel has another heated confrontation with Devin, which ends with him offering her a job as the director of the Monster Project, which is a gig in line with her career goals. After the party, once the guests have left, Brian and Muriel share a private moment where Muriel kisses Brian, but she abruptly leaves. Frustrated by her rejection, and thinking Muriel still loved Devin, Brian throws a chair in anger. The next day, Devin, Jamal, Muriel, and Brian arrive at an old mansion that Devin has rented to film interviews with the three supposed monsters on the night of a lunar eclipse. As they unload their equipments, Brian tries to talk to Muriel about their kiss from the night before, but she brushes it off, saying it was a mistake and that she doesn't want to ruin their friendship. The property caretaker, Richard, greets the group and informs them that the mansion was the site of satanic rituals in the 1960s. This doesn't bother Devin, who remains focused on the project, and it is clearly seen that the windows of the mansion are all boarded up. Before going inside, Devon instructs the group to leave their phones in the car to avoid distractions during the interview. Inside the mansion, they also notice cameras mounted on the walls, which piques their curiosity. Richard goes to call his wife, while the group is drawn into a room by a strange sound. They find Richard's catatonic wife, Martha, sitting in a wheelchair, murmuring incoherent words, and they alert Richard. When Devon tries to speak to Martha, Richard suddenly bursts into the room, startling the group as he takes Martha away. Richard then guides the crew to a dark room where they will conduct their interviews and explains that if they need to use the lights, they will have to go to the basement to access the fuse box. He warns them to stay out of the attic due to rotten wood, before leaving the crew on their own, and just then, Martha begins to scream, which unsettle everyone. As the group starts setting up their equipments, Devon presents a collection of artifacts linked to the mythology of each supposed monster they will interview, and mentions that these items are intended to be used if necessary. Muriel and Brian head to the basement to turn on the lights while Jamal begins interviewing Devon, who explains the monster project to the viewers, assuring them that everything they are about to see is real and not staged, and suddenly, they hear Muriel scream. Rushing upstairs, they are startled by the appearance of Shiori, the Asian woman who claims to be possessed by a demon. After setting up the interview room, Brian is assigned to place papers labeled monster, vampire, and demon on different doors. While doing this, he hears a noise coming from one of the rooms and finds Shiori sitting up, which unnerves him. Meanwhile, Jamal notices someone walking outside and is frightened by the appearance of a woman, who turns out to be Shayla, the supposed vampire. Shaken by his encounter with Shiori, Brian steps outside to calm down, only to see Shiori entering another room which frightens him even more. Suddenly, he is startled by a man, who turns out to be Steven, the supposed skinwalker. Steven is the first to be interviewed and requests that his identity be kept hidden for personal reasons. During the interview, Steven explains that to become a skinwalker, one must kill a family member in order to make a pact with the devil for power. He also reveals that when he transforms into a monster, he loses control and can only be stopped by silver. Shayla is interviewed next, and having tasted Brian's blood, Shayla insists that Brian be the one to ask her the questions. At first, everything seems to go smoothly, but things take a dark turn when Shayla mentions tasting OxyContin in Brian's blood, implying that he is still using drugs. This accusation makes Brian furious, and he insists that she is lying before storming out of the interview room in anger. While Brian is in the bathroom trying to calm himself, he is angrily confronted by Jamal, who accuse him of lying about his sobriety. Jamal confiscates Brian's pills and kicks him off the set, before slamming the door in his face, and frustrated, Brian throws another tantrum.